Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today is going to be another development showcase. I've decided that's what I'm going to call these random videos I keep making with FiveM resources. Now, as I'm sure for those of you who have been around long enough, you've probably noticed that I haven't actually ever publicly released any resources for FiveM, even though I keep showing them off. Hasn't really been a particular reason behind this. I know there's been some interest in the resources I've created, and that's why today, for the first time, I will actually be releasing my FiveM Pager resource to the public, to you guys. So this video is just going to be a quick showcase video, show what features have been added since the last video, as well as just sort of a quick tutorial on how it works. I'll be creating a installation video at a later date, along with probably another video on how to tweak the resource, customize it a little bit so it works best for you, and that'll just be how to add custom tones, how to add custom stations, and all of that will make sense in a couple of minutes here. So for those of you that have seen both my first pager video and my second pager video, you'll notice that in the second pager video there was not the presence of the fire siren. For those of you who don't know, the fire siren is just a siren that sits on top of a fire station, typically volunteer fire stations, and that goes off whenever there's call out of that station for volunteers. So funny story, the reason I created the pager resource was to showcase that siren. The pager itself was actually a last minute idea that I had that I tacked on. The fire siren was the main showcase. However, the pager was actually ended up being more popular, funnily enough, and that's why I ended up working on it, removing the fire siren altogether and just focusing on that pager. However, I've received a couple of suggestions to add it back in, a couple of people that were interested in it, so that's the biggest addition to this version of the pager resource, is actually the re-adding of the fire siren, which is actually really exciting. It's pretty cool if I do say so myself. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run through the commands here that are available. The resource does come with suggestions. You can remove those if that's not really what you want, but they are here by default. They're a little bit wordy, but they are there nonetheless. So by default the resource comes with 4 tones: medical, rescue, fire, and other. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I will be releasing another video on how to add more tones. There's also a tutorial on the wiki on the GitHub, linked in the description below, if you don't want to wait for that to come out. It's pretty simple. Basically you just need to add the actual audio file to the resource, and then do a little bit of tweaking with the resource's configuration, and you're good to go. So once you've typed in /pager and you're ready to enter your tones to be tuned to, you can actually enter as many as you like. So for example, if I can spell, if I just tune myself to all of these, you can see there in the bottom left, pager tuned to medical, rescue, fire, and other. You don't have to tune to all of them. You can tune to as many as few as you like. So for example, if you just want to be tuned to medical, when you're tuned to some tones, if you want to turn the pager off, just hit /enter and that'll turn the pager off. Or as you just saw me do, if you're already tuned to one set of tones and you want to change to another set of tones, you can just enter the pager command again and that'll retune you. Okay, so that is the pager command. Next we're going to take a quick look at the page command. As you can see there from the suggestion, all it does is page tones. So if someone is not tuned to any tones, aka their pager is turned off and tones are paged, they will not hear anything, which is obviously what you want. I know I had some questions when I released the first resource, or rather the second video, whether or not everyone hears it. It is not everyone, it's just whoever's tuned to it. So with the page command, it's exactly the same as the pager command. You can include as many or as few tones as you like, so you can page all of the tones or you can page just 1 or 2. So for this example, I'm tuned I have my pager tuned to medical and other, so I'm just going to call, or rather I'm just going to page medical, fog, interesting, medical and fire. So what's going to happen once I hit the page command is it'll bounce off of the server and that'll come back and it'll page to all of the clients who have their pages turned on. If I am tuned to medical and a medical tone comes through, I'm going to hear a vibration sound, and that's because the pager has recognized that tone that you're tuned to. It's going to let you know, hey, this is yours. There's also going to be a notification in the bottom left of the screen letting you know that, hey, this is you need to pay attention to this one. If something gets paged that you aren't tuned to, so for, in this example, fire, which I'm not currently tuned to, it'll play the actual tone sound. It won't vibrate and it won't give you a notification. The reason behind that is that it's not your tone, so you don't really need to worry about it. So I'll go ahead and show you what that looks like now. So there you go, you can see that because I'm tuned to it, I hear the vibration. And you can hear there that because I'm not tuned to fire, I hear the tone, but there's no notification and there's no vibration. And there are the ending beeps signifying the end of the tone, or the end of the page. If you saw in the bottom left there was a notification letting me know which tones I was paging. The idea behind the page command, it would be someone in-game that isn't necessarily role-playing as a firefighter, or perhaps a supervisor or lieutenant or something like that. So they wouldn't necessarily have their pager turned on, and that's just a little bit of positive feedback there to let the person who did the command know that the tones are actually paged. The next command is the fire siren. Now the fire siren works very similar to the page command in that you can enter as many stations as you like. You can see in the list there's some random letters for stations. So PB is Paleto Bay, so FZ is Fort Zancudo, SS is Sandy Shores, RH is Rockford Hills, ELS is East Los Santos, SLS is South Los Santos or Grove Street, DPD is Del Perro, Pier Beach, and LSIA is Los Santos International Airport. Now, you can change these, however, the way the resource is currently coded, it can only be one word, so if you wanted to put Paleto Bay as one word, by all means go ahead. I've just added them as abbreviations by default because that's what I thought would be best. Again, as I said at the beginning of the video, I'll be doing another video on how to add custom stations. It's quite simple, and again, there's a tutorial on the wiki, on the GitHub linked. All you have to do is download another resource, grab the coordinates of the station you would like to add, and then add that location and a name to the configuration. So if you're sitting there wondering, why the heck would I want another station? There's only 8 fire stations in GTA 5. There are resources available out there that add custom stations to your game, and if you have one of those that isn't in the same location as a default one, that's how those custom stations would come in handy. So I'm going to go ahead and play the fire siren for this station here. This station being ELS, the East Los Santos. And here it is. Okay, and there you go. The fire siren does have quite a long wind down time. So the fire siren is the same sound effect for all of the stations. Like I said, you can activate the siren at as many stations as you like. The way that works is the resource determines which station is closest to you out of those list of stations in the configuration. From that, it then determines if the closest station to you is one of the stations that currently should have a siren being played. From there, it determines if you're within the radius of the fire siren. So currently it's set to 400. I'd be lying if I told you I knew what measurement it was in. I assume it's game meters, but about 400, which comes out to approximately 2 blocks-ish, 2 city blocks. And the further from the origin you are, the quieter the sound is. So I'll go ahead and demonstrate that now. So if we activate the fire siren for this station, and then I drive off, as you can hear, the further away we get, the quieter it is, and then obviously as we get closer, it again gets louder. Okay, so now I'm just going to demonstrate what it sounds like when you go between 2 stations. The resource is actually a little bit clever. It doesn't play more than 1 fire siren. Like I said, it determines which station is closest to you, and then from there it plays it. So we're currently at the East Los Santos station. The next closest station is the South Los Santos station, which is near Grove Street. The radiuses, or radii rather, don't overlap. So what that means is that you leave one radius and you enter another. And from there, it just sets the volume again. So that's very poorly explained, I apologize for that, but I'll show you what I mean now. So if we play the fire siren for the East Los Santos station, which is this station, as well as the South Los Santos station, and then I'm going to drive from this station to the Grove Street station so you can hear leaving one radius and entering another. So you can hear it getting quieter as we leave that station's radius, and if I drive fast enough, we'll enter the Grove Street station's radius. And there it is there, you can just about hear it. And there you go. Just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to show you that if you play it at a station that isn't designated, it won't play. So you can see there I've activated the siren at the East Los Santos station, which is the one we just left, and it's not currently playing here. However, if we drive over there, we'll enter its radius and you will hear its sound. And there you can hear it winding down. Okay, and that is the Fire EMS Pager and Fire Siren resource. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. You can find the download link to the resource in the description below. I'd just like to take a quick moment to thank my alpha testers who helped me test this resource. If you're interested in becoming an alpha tester, getting access to some of my resources before everybody else, make sure to check out the GitHub link in the description below, and you can find out more about that. on the README file. If you like this video and you'd like to get notified when I release more videos of my resources, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell. And exciting news for those of you who have been around for a little while, my fire alarm and panel resource, which I showed off on this channel a little while ago, is almost ready for alpha testing release. So like I said, if you want to get access to that before everybody else, make sure to have a read up on that on the GitHub page. The resource will be available for public download probably in a month or two. Also, I'll just take a quick moment to acknowledge that I normally do not talk over my development showcases. I realize that doesn't really show a lot of effort, so I'm not going to be doing that from now on. I'm going to be talking over all of my development resources, explain the resource a little bit better to you guys. And on a final note, make sure to check out the wiki on the GitHub page. You'll find several useful pages on how to install the resource, how to customize the resource. Also, you'll find links to my Discord server in the description of this video, as well as on the wiki, if you'd like to contact me about anything specifically. If you'd like to make a pull request on the GitHub, by all means, I'd be excited to see what other people have to add to the resource. If you have any other suggestions, or if you find a bug, please feel free to create an issue on GitHub, and I'll make sure to look at that as soon as I can. Other than that, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you later. Adios.